Warriors. How's everyone doing today? Hi, Dan. Had a great weekend. I hope everyone got some rest in. Thank you. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Arif? Patrick, I know, said hello. Hi, Ron. I'm good. In fact, guys, I'm as brilliant as a diamond, so you better put on your shades. Hi, Glenn Jeffrey. Doug Mouse, how are you? So the reason I'm on camera is I want to let everyone know I quit my rock band. I quit my rock band and had my hair cut. So I'm going to trade my ass off with you guys all summer. I was going to go on tour, but some of my roadies are busy with ForexAnalytix, so I'm going to stick around and talk about the markets with you guys. How's that sound? Okay. Hi, Diego. How are you? Congratulations on your new addition to your family. Congratulations. Yeah. Well, my wife is my #1 groupie, Robert. All right. So let's get to the markets here. Seen enough of this. Okay, so we'll start off with Euro USD. So last week, talking about the potential of 110.5. It's making some attempts to hold this 1150 level. We had one poke underneath it. I know a lot of people think this might be enough for one more push up. It could be. EG is at a very critical point, and then I want to mentor everyone on the pound. So I'm kind of neutral on the euro. I don't feel like buying it here. I think if we take out this 111, we have at least 10.5, maybe 110. But I want to show the euro pound because it's kind of at a make or break point. So, you know, we were talking about a 3 driver here in euro pound. Hi, Tim. 1, 2, 3. But this pulled back 61.8 of this wave here. And if you believe in longer term appreciation of this pair, and unless we take out 86.50, you have to. The trend is still intact for another high. And even though this was a 3 drive, I'm going to mentor you here too. Look at the RSI reading at the high. 81. Back here it was 80. So we actually even confirmed the high up here. So I think there's another high coming in EG, which makes cable my preferred short. Give me why if you understand my analysis so far on EG and euro, why I'm more hesitant to short the euro, even though I think path of least resistance still could be to the downside. And what could happen is the pound is even weaker than the euro. If we get one more leg up in the dollar, which I still think is corrective, maybe we get to 98. But this is what I want to show you in the pound. Okay? This is your 4-hour chart. Look at this RSI reading. As you notice, I pay attention to divergences and confirmed highs and lows. And that's not a real good RSI point to launch a serious rally right now. To me, it looks corrective. I'm not saying we can't trade 29. I think we'd have to start closing above 9.5 to change the picture. Still think that Nick's target towards 26 on the harmonic is still alive. Let's see if she still has it there.
Hello.
Hi, Nick. How are you? I'm just showing your ABCD on your pound projection here, and I know you're negative. So, yeah, it still looks negative.
That is that 27.68 is a real bull bear line for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you know, I just wait and see, really.
Yeah, you know what really has is saying that I don't think
Monday morning.
I don't think it's a low for one single reason. People might think it's silly, but it's this reason. Look at the RSI reading at the end of the decline before we had a bounce. So it was almost like a 14 or 15 reading. And just to mentor the crowd a little bit, what I've noticed is markets rarely bottom when there is a confirmed low with price, and especially a deep, pretty strong selling momentum when it's under 30, under 20. So to me, I think that we're going to take this low up, and this may have just been it.
That's a perfect ABC rally, equal measured move as well, you know, from that low.
Yeah, it was a nice recovery, but to me it looks like another opportunity.
Yeah.
So Friday, you know, I talked about covering. Go ahead, Nick.
No, I was just going to say it's an hourly it's an hourly bearish ABC from that low. It's a perfect measured move.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So there's some ForexAnalytix confluence, and if the EG holds there, it also builds a case for this being your preferred short over the euro. Everyone understand that too? Okay. I move over to Aussie. I don't know. It's neutral to me, but taking out 94.20, if someone put a gun to my head, I'd short this Aussie with stops maybe about 50 higher. So looking for this little double bottom to be taken out. And even the Kiwi's starting to look tired to me. Okay, that we may try and push for another high, but I'd start looking for some fib retracements in Kiwi. Also CAD, you know, we wanted to look at shorts up around the 135 level, 35.20. We're getting it. Here we are on the 1 hour. So we're going to be looking at the 4. So it was pretty weak, the response last week. It's probably a sell up around the 5.5 view, in my opinion. Hi, LaShawn, how are you? U.S. dollar yen. Maybe we get an ABC, maybe back to 12.5, but I can't get real bullish on U.S. dollar yen here either. And I think that's almost everything I wanted to cover off the bat. Oh, the crosses. I still think there's one more low coming in the guppy towards 140. Here's one drive. Here's two. So if the third drive is around 140 and the RSI stays above 30, that might be attractive to me. Here's the look on it. Here's drive 1. It's a confirmed low. So I'm just teaching you guys some of my third drive stuff. So that comes in a little higher, but I do believe we're going to see another drive, at least one more towards 140-ish in the guppy. So those are some of my ideas coming into this. Keep in mind it's kind of a chopped week because we had the holiday yesterday. And then we have NFP on Friday. So you want to be, at least in my opinion, the NFP is a roulette bet. It's binary. It's red or black. And I would rather react to the reaction than bet on it. So we have to accomplish some of our, we have to accomplish some of our objectives in 72 hours to be pared down for the NFP. At least that's my opinion of what you do on a red number. Some people have no fear of red numbers. They'll just hold the position into it. Raj is asking about Euro Yen. That's a pretty ugly low there. There could be another sell-off here in Euro Yen. That was a nice little double top. your risk would be above 2460. I get out of the way. I hope that helps, Raj. And now, Nick, I could give you the screen. These are some of my ideas. Is that enough ideas from me for you guys?
Shall we do a question and answer?
Yeah. So I think there were at least a couple. One more question. Gold. Okay, my view on gold is that it's going to correct the recent rally. And then we'll turn it over to Nick. So under 1255, this was a, rally, about a $55 rally. Why can't we pull back to 1240-ish, 1235? Even if you're not a big gold bear looking for much lower numbers, to me, I'd be short against a 1270 level looking for 40, 35, maybe 30. Does that help? You're very welcome. Okay. Now we're going to have the privilege to see some of Nick's stuff here. Let me just give you the screen, Nick. Did you have a nice long weekend?
Yeah, it was lovely, thanks. We had some pretty crazy weather here. How about you?
Oh, it was beautiful here. It was 85.
Guys, you won't believe it, but it was raining. It was raining and cold in Athens, so there you go.
No way.
Okay. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
What can you see?
So we're looking at crude. So this pullback, in your view, Nick, could be a nice buying opportunity, huh?
Yeah, like what I was looking for. Everybody, we had to clear waves lower and ABC in crude. What everybody was looking for was, is that going to be a bottom and we're going to rally to new highs from here, or is this ABC just a bigger A of a bigger correction? And so what you have to do is look at how you rally to give you like the hints of, for me anyway, I look at how it rallies to tell me what it's going to do next. And it was corrective, and what we've done is, we've done an alternate ABC where the second leg is only 61.8 of the first leg, and sure enough we sold off sharply. So that
the OPEC announcement.
Yeah, and OPEC over, plus they really didn't. So this is my continuous. So that means that this move is the first move, and we're going to see another one. So you can, at least from this high, put this on. So that means that we're going to come back to at least 45, which would mean the second leg was 61.8 of this first correction, and 40, 70 would be the full ABC, which is a lot of confluence down here at 40. I would not be surprised if we just going out to a weekly.
Okay, so that's a bearish view here. Okay.
I have a bearish view of crude on RD.
All right. I know monthly support's around 35. So, I thought one day that we, probably tested, if you look left, there was some support there around 38, 36.
Yeah.
We made the lows, so that would be kind of a natural spot. That's interesting. That's close enough for government work.
So just here on a weekly, you can see it a little. I'm just trying to clean out on a weekly chart. So yeah, so this first ABC, it just means that it might not. Now, if we stop at 45, then what we're going to see is we'll see another leg higher from here in a bigger correction, which is what you tend to see through the summer anyway. So we could see something like that. So I'll just draw it. So
we'll get some range trading. I find it interesting.
And then another one like this, and then we'll see another leg lower. It's a bit shallower. What we'll end up perhaps with something, more like a very big, bull flag.
Okay.
By which time everybody's been chopped up to death, and he doesn't want to know. So
I'm wondering if maybe one of the inflection points to take it down to your bearish target is, although President Trump went to Saudi Arabia and sold them, $100 billion worth of weapons, and that was the best part of his trip, then he comes home, or even before he comes home, he's talking about selling off the strategic petroleum reserve.
He definitely is talking about that, and that's going to be a really quite a bearish trigger. The thing is, in the oil market, is stuff gets priced in really quickly. People should know that. So, you know, if you're trading the news as it comes out, you're way behind. And as the OPEC announcement,
it would be classic for us to sell it at 40, and that would be a great buying opportunity. That we finally dump it after this correction's over.
Yeah.
And then it goes straight up, and we'll go, oh, that was a good move, selling it at 40, and it's 55 in 6 months. Yeah.
So
Maybe our president's following your technical work.
He's hilarious.
He's tuned in.
Okay, so I'm gonna there might be some Bitcoin or some cryptocurrency people here, so I'm gonna look at
there
Bitcoin.
is.
I'm gonna look at Bitcoin first. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was a big level that I was looking at, and we didn't quite tag it, but we sort of tagged it. You know, the prices are different on different exchanges. It is close enough.
What was it? You missed it.
Some exchanges that did hit it. And so we've had a first leg of correction, and just like oil, you know, you don't know when you see this first leg lower, is that the bottom and we're going to keep rallying from there, or are we going to see another impulsive rally? So what you have to do is watch, see how it rallies. And so this kind of labored, slow, choppy, even though, you know, choppy, overlapping price action, this rally is not bullish, I'm afraid. And when you compare it to, say, Ethereum, which is much stronger, you know, you could make an argument, or Litecoin looks quite bullish, the structure. You could make an argument that that's actually got the low in. I think that this one, maybe not. And then when I measure this, so this first leg here, you know, you say, how high is this rally going to go? I'm just going to go down to an hourly so we can look at it a bit better. So we're a little bit short of the 61.8 retracement, but we've stopped on the back test of the 23.6 Fibonacci level. And that is actually quite bearish when we do that, you know. So I think that there's you know, this price action, while everything else has been rallying, has been pretty weak. I think that there's a very good chance on a break of this trend line that we see another leg lower, and probably should we draw it like something like this to connect most of the lows.
The first break was what, about $1,000? $1,000 from the high? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was. It went from you know, 2760 to 1840, so 900.
So we could go to, if it's we have a quality from here, that's 1,300.
Yeah, we could. It could go a long way. So,
and if we have 1.618,
if we do the 618 though, and we go back to our daily, though, the 618 puts us into this really big, you know, conference zone, and these previous highs, and you know, at a proper tag of the 50% retracement of the swing, you know, from the March lows, which is the last swing higher. So if we are going to make a new high, you know, just back to the 50% of this most recent swing would be about right. But you know, when you look at it and you count the waves, okay, in this structure, this last fifth wave was the longest, so it's an extended fifth wave. So that means that very often you see it fully, as Gregor I think will tell us, you see it fully retraced. And so, you know, the risk is still there that we go lower than people think. So, patient.
It sounds like the bag holders are in, or also people sold Bitcoin and they're rotating into a different cryptocurrency.
Ethereum, yeah, you know, when you look at Ethereum, it's been so much stronger. So that's what we've seen in and I'm just going to clean up. Sorry, I'm just going to clean up the Ethereum chart, and we're going to go to a 4-hour chart. Hello?
Hi, sorry, if I may interrupt very quickly. Greg just wrote on our Skype, and he said he may not be able to make it, but he has posted 2 of his charts on our Skype, and he said if you could have a look at those and show them. That's what he said. Okay, if you can.
I haven't got a Skype on this computer. I don't have it on my charting one.
I could do it later.
But Gregor does actually agree with me that this is the correction that we're seeing in. So I'm just going to show you on here, and you should all follow Gregor Horvat, our Elliott Wave guy, because he's really good, and I've learned a lot from him. So he agrees. So he what he sees is that we're in a wave 4 correction. So we could see another leg lower to fully tag this 50% and this congestion zone here, or what you very often see in a wave 4, you know, is a flag or a pennant pattern. You'll see, you know, sideways congestion before we move higher, and so that's what he's looking at, and then he's looking for one more push to new highs as well. So that's how he counts Bitcoin. So, you know, the top isn't in, but we've just got to wait and see this correction out. And I will make sure that I retweet his charts on Twitter for you. So Ethereum is slightly different. I think what we're seeing is an irregular correction. So I haven't got the right. This was. I'm just going to load actually the. Where did I put it? Well, I'll just find it.
Yeah, it looks like a third drive. Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like actually an irregular correction, and I still think that. And it's to trick everybody.
How do you know which, you know, I heard there's like 400 out here, Nick, different cryptocurrencies. How do you know which ones to follow?
That's a really hot one, like,
volume?
Yeah, trading volume and what everyone's talking about, like everyone's talking about this. Okay, so if you can see, you know, we've stalled at this resistance level that I was expecting, but I have a really like solid one for Ethereum at 265 where a lot more lines up, so I think that's where we go in our next leg. But what I'm seeing here, so just like the others, and I'm going to clean this up as well because you don't need all this.
It's amazing. Last March it was what, $10, under $10, and
I know
you have like a 20 bagger here.
Yeah, so again, like once
People
again,
are getting rich in this stuff overnight.
Massive moves, but listen, this Ethereum dropped 45% on Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
And then it's back at new highs already. So like that's very volatile. You really have to watch your risk carefully. And
yeah, it's probably too heavy of a, you know, the vol is just too heavy to trade. Maybe you just have to be like, remember who was Raggi? It sounded more like a crypto investor than trader, because it's too wild to trade, you know.
Yeah.
Just sitting on them.
Okay, so here's the 4-hour chart. So sometimes you see in an irregular correction, you see a marginal new high, and then you'll see a big swing lower again. Or this might be a proper breakout, in which case on a retest, and if we're going to see another leg higher, it should really only, it should really only retrace 38.2 this leg. So that means, and I'm just going to show you that where. That means about 190, that's all it should retrace. Now, interestingly, if we move that down, because, you know, I always look at the 23.6 as my bull bear line, that brings it in also around here, around 190. So 190 is the 23.6 of this full rally and 38.2 of the rally from this interim low. So that is like the firm bull bear line. I think that if we're going to see another sort of sideways messy correction in Ethereum, if we break that, we're going to come back down to most likely around the 145 level before we rally. But if we hold it, then we're still in an uptrend and we can look to 265 next. So that's how I'm looking at Ethereum.
You know, there's an interesting thing that I found out. You know, when the SEC, they were going to do an ETF on Bitcoin, but it was rejected. And there's a reason why a lot of these cryptocurrencies are doing what they're doing. There are no short sellers in there.
Well, it's very hard to sell. Like you can on some of the exchanges. Some of the exchanges you can, but like the ETFs are long only. Yeah, I know it's very difficult.
You can't. So that makes it kind of a one-way market, doesn't it? The only selling that comes in is liquidation, not short selling.
Right.
Yeah, that's an advantage to an investor because that reduces, reduces a lot of the downside pressure. Like a lot of ECNs and ETFs, the shorts could come in, and they've been having reverse split so they could short more. So I think that's a real advantage until that changes. It's a buyer's market where you don't have to worry about shorts coming in trying to take you out.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way I look for targets in these parabolic markets is I use Fibonacci projections from previous corrective swings lower. So this is Litecoin, and Litecoin topped out at the 1.618 of this decline. So and in my Fibonacci rules, if we don't close back below the 886 retest, it's still bullish. And interestingly, that was also 50%. It hasn't closed below 50% of this last swing lower. So I think in Litecoin that this might have just been the third wave. This is fourth wave, and it lines up with Bitcoin. And this one also has another leg higher. And why I also like it is these two swings are a perfect ABC. So we've held the 50%, we've made a perfect ABC move. I think if we get back above the 20-day moving average and back above this sort of 2630 level, that's a really good setup. And then it's a bull flag. So if we break out from the bull flag, the target in Litecoin would be 53, which is a pretty nice rally from here.
Yeah, especially from $4. So it's so light. This Litecoin is so light.
And it's funny
it took off like a rocket ship and keeps floating up like a hot air balloon. It's so light.
I know, but whenever I've asked people about it, they say, oh yeah, Litecoin's rubbish, don't touch it. You know, it's really under the radar right now because everyone's looking at the hot ones. But I think this one has a really good chance of 53 next. So,
are you doing anything in these?
Do you know, I haven't.
Besides charting them?
Besides charting them? No, and I started charting them at the beginning of May, you know, because Sigma Squawk said, send us a chart of something that's hot at the moment. So I just looked around and it's all kind of snowballed from there. I haven't traded Bitcoin since 2013. And it's so weird because I had a friend, you know, who's, I think I told you on Friday, I had a friend who was a trader. He was quite, and he's like, buy it, it's going to go. And that was at $11.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you sold it at $2.50 or something.
I thought I was like a genius, but now
well, you were at the
especially you know where I came out because I thought I got out at the highs, you know, in 2013, and in 2014 it came back and like made a perfect retest of where I got out, and I could have rebought it, and I didn't notice it. And so then, like, from then on, I was like, I've always thought, it's like, psychologically to me, it's like, oh, I'm chasing it. So, there you go.
Yeah, I know that one. We all do. It was a great trade. You look, the markets, it reminds me of a Pinkertism, you know, don't expect perfection at the crap table.
Ethereum people, like, listening here who think, oh, my God, Ethereum has gone again without me, you know, this poke above these previous highs and a close below today would not be terribly bullish. That would, you know, suggest a bit of that this all is corrective and that we will get another dip to buy.
Well, what a cool dimension you're adding to FA, and I think we're going to be covering at least Bitcoin on our website now.
Yeah, I think we are. We're going to talk about it tomorrow and see what we can do.
Okay.
So if anybody's got any questions about anything, I'm available to answer. Otherwise, maybe my friend Stelios wants to have something to say.
Yeah, do you, buddy?
Hello. Are there any questions? Okay.
I could show Greg's chart.
Somebody just asked
show
if you're
Greg's chart, because the Bitcoin people will be interested in that. You have control.
Right. I'll show Greg's charts here. And then Stelios, my trading warrior brother.
We've had a couple of questions. One is, are you married? And the other one was, are you an actress? Because you have a lovely voice.
Hey, Nick, you'll laugh at this. You know, I used to have an IB called Pinkert Commodities. What a creative name, right? And we were running television ads. And I actually hired a woman to do a British accent during the commercial because I always thought it made it sound, you know, international and, you know, just that accent.
All these people listening are going to think, because I have a British accent, that I might be really clever, and it's not. It's just because I have an accent.
But people have that perception, and you are clever.
It's so weird.
I mean, you know, there's something about the, you know, the center of global finance or something. You need a British accent.
I'm married to the market. I do live with someone.
That's good.
And I love my dog too much.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're easier to get along with, that's for sure. All right, here's a look from Grega. I think, what's this, Bitcoin? Yeah. Kind of looks like yours.
Yeah, so very similar. And he's my go-to guy, so.
Okay, there's one. And then let's see what this is, daily and 4 hour. Yeah, looking for about 16 for 4, and you were saying it would be a 4.
And you can see that that would mean that the entire of this last fifth wave has been retraced, which you see in extended fifth waves. So
okay,
looks really good.
Okay, that's Gregor Horvat, another member of the Dream Team. That's what they're calling us.
Yeah, and he's a good follow on Twitter because he puts a lot on Twitter.
Oh yeah, at Gregor Horvat, in case you guys don't know that. And at Nick Trades. And at Stelios.
And he also should say, that's a very good point. He is saying that the you have to look at how long we spent in wave 2 and compare it to wave 4. So if you could go back to Gregor's first chart, Dale, that's it. So look, he's marked the time spent in from wave 1 to wave 2. So wave 1 down to 2, that's equivalent to the time. So we really are looking at another, you know, for people going when to buy, we're really looking at another 3 or 4 days of correction, 2-3 days from here certainly. So and what I've noticed over the weekend is, although some cryptocurrencies are stronger than the others, they're all pretty much moving together. So, you know, for people who think they've missed the boat in Ethereum, you know, they probably will all bottom together and you just then buy the strongest one. So.
Yeah, use relative strength theory and everything. Yeah. Great presentation,
Thanks,
Nick.
Gregor.
So, yeah, thank you, Gregor Horvat, and thank you, Nick. It's a cool new area. The interest is phenomenal. You know, anytime something goes up 10, 20, 30 fold, the whole world wants to know about it. So
yeah,
I think that your work, Greg's work, is going to at least keep people from making emotional decisions just to get in at any price, and be some pretty good guidelines for people to have entries and exits. So
yeah, and just, you know, people should think about the psychology of this, because as soon as they see Bitcoin making another new low, they'll be like, oh, the top's in, that's it, it's all over. And that's really when you should be measuring it all up and getting ready. So
yeah, because the next 5 is going to be a humongous one according to your targets.
Yeah, we think so.
That you talked about last week.
Yeah.
Oh, Amazon hit 1,000. Okay, no one cares.
Okay, so I talked about this.
You talked about 1050.
So in US stock trading, there's a famous trade set up called $100 roll, and you buy a stock as it approaches 100. because you'll see great volume and a lot of people will take profit at 100. And it almost always blows through to sort of 106, 108. And I think that what we're going to see in Amazon is we're going to see $1,000 roll. So I've got a really hard target in Amazon, just the other side, between 1056 and 1070, I think is where their high should come in. So we've got more.
What I noticed in the business, Nick, is that when everyone's looking for one number, it either doesn't happen, or if it does, it becomes meaningless when everyone's looking for one number. So that's kind of the same thing as a big round number like 100 or 1,000. But even more technical levels, I've noticed when everyone, is buying a scenario for a move to a certain price, it either doesn't achieve it, or if it gets there, it ends up being a pretty meaningless price level.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. Okay, and the Chinese are going to be opening up ETH on a big Chinese exchange.
Yeah, so Ethereum, which is really popular, apparently it's stronger because the Chinese are going to be opening the exchange so they can trade it there. And I really do think a lot of the popularity in Bitcoin came from China, so that'll be really good for it too. So whether you believe, it's useless or not, it's what everybody else thinks. So
price is a final arbiter. Someone thinks it's worth $2,000. At that point in time, that's exactly what it's worth.
Well, my friend Joe this morning was trying to explain to me how you can't create money out of nothing in these currencies, but that's the UK housing market, though, isn't it? So apparently you can.
Yeah.
What's it called? Wealth. Exactly. Wealth ex nihilo. So there you go.
It was cool hanging out with you, Nick.
Anytime. Thanks.
Yeah, some nice looks. Maybe my brother, Trading Warrior brother Stelios, has some macro stuff to share.
I'll stay here and see what Stelios is up to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stelios, you have some stuff you want to share?
Yeah, I have a few things to say. First of all, 2 questions that have been asked. Casey's asking if there's a recording of this. Of course, there is in our ForexAnalytix YouTube site. You can see all the past recordings, including this one. Hold on, show my screen. Then Dan is asking, what is RAF? RAF is Royal Air Force, Dan. First of all, in terms of Bitcoin, I have not traded Bitcoin. I've been following it for a few years, and it's really interesting. I personally think it has so many good things about it. It kind of eliminates a lot of the bad things associated with fiat currencies. But there are 2 little issues that I find it hard to get my head around. One is everybody talks about a limited supply of Bitcoin, 21 million Bitcoins ever to be mined. Great. That eliminates the inflation problem that they can just print more. But the problem I see with that is that, okay, Bitcoin is only 21 million items ever going to be mined. You've got another 100 cryptocurrencies. So I think there's going to be another one. And another one, and another one. Obviously, you have first mover advantage, so Bitcoin is the popular one. It gets accepted in so many places, etc. So, I understand the appeal, and I think it's really good as a concept. I just think in practical terms, we might see, like Nick said before, a spillover to other cryptos, simply because there's not enough of them. So that's one issue. The other amazing thing about cryptocurrencies is that they're all peer-to-peer. So there's no intermediary. There's nothing, you can do all these transactions, great. Again, one other little problem is that there's a record of every transaction ever made. So that scares me a little bit personally because you don't know, what kind of backdoors have been built to these things or who can access those records. So just another thing, people are buying Bitcoin because they're saying, it's going to keep me out of the system. I understand all that, but I just have this little fear in the back of my mind. But otherwise, I think it's a great development, and price action is showing that, is proving that this is something for the future. Sorry, I need to silence my dog. Yeah, so, just those 2 points on Bitcoin that I was thinking about. Now, the other stuff that I'm watching, first of all, I'm not going to talk about silver. I talk about that all the time. First of all, let's have a look. Sterling Kiwi is one I'm looking at, if you've been following me. I had been long into the 180, I think I got out of 186 and a half, 187, I can't remember, somewhere there. And I've been tweeting, I'm looking for a pullback towards 180 to 181. We're getting close because we have this support zone, so I'm getting ready to reload. It might be, the timing might be with the UK elections, I'm not sure, but this is certainly one I'm looking at. And what else are we looking at? Let's have a look. Yeah, and for me, the most important chart still is the dollar. So DXY, the long-term, the monthly chart, we've seen this before. It's like a big wedge. And I've been waiting for this month's candle to close to see if this little foray above was a false break or not. I am still personally bearish the dollar. So this candle here would be a pretty good sign that that this is going a little bit lower. And as a result, I like my silver longs even more because obviously being bearish the dollar is going to happen. The dollar,
and the month closes tomorrow.
Month closes tomorrow, and the last 5 candles, if you look, I can zoom it a bit. The last 5 candles have pretty much touched it, almost. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one just went through. So I've been looking at this for months, and it seems to be moving. Next target, I think, around 92, 93, which, okay, it's not that far away, but it's still, it's a pretty decent. Yeah,
it's a 117 euro.
Yes, exactly. Again, though, on the euro, I'm having trouble with the euro as well. You guys must have seen the headlines out of Greece today, which baffled me completely. I mean, the Greek government came out and said that they are looking into having the option of not taking the next tranche for the bailout. So basically, this means default because obviously the Greek government cannot go to the markets to borrow. So they are kind of blackmailing and saying, if we don't get a debt relief, we are looking into the option of not taking the next tranche. Well, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot by doing that. I don't understand that. I find it very weird, especially being a Greek national. So I think the Greek problem is already surfacing again, and I don't know what's going to happen or what extent it's going to have to the Eurozone. But guys, I think this is not by no means over. There's still a lot of issues with Greece, and we all know how all this can domino. I hope it doesn't happen.
At the moment, everything's quite quiet about Greece, isn't it? Like, there's not that much chatter.
Yes, it is. And I can tell you as a Greek, and I can see what's happening, nothing has been fixed. Nothing. The only thing that's been done is that the Greek government has, to their credit, followed a lot of the things that they need to do. So they've cut pensions, they've cut some spending, not a lot. They've done a lot of the measures that have to be done, but they're still way, way behind what really should be done. So, and privatizations and all that, they're lagging very, very much.
What about collecting taxes?
Collecting taxes is a huge problem because we're seeing surpluses. I think we're seeing a surplus, was it this year, I think? But there's a surplus only because they are not paying out, the government is not paying out what it owes to its citizens. And tax collection is a nightmare. They're not, they're putting more and more taxes, and the collection rate is getting lower and lower every day. So, as a Greek, I'm horrified by what's happening, and I cannot believe that they're not taking more drastic measures to really get to the heart of the problem. So, I tell you this: the problem with Greece is definitely not over. I know the markets are very slow, very quiet about it, but it's still here and it's huge.
Hey, Stelio. So, can you hear me, mate?
Hello, mate. Hi.
Good afternoon. I couldn't resist jumping in, although I'm with dinner with Andreas, as you know.
Yeah.
But we've been listening. First of all, yes, the surplus is completely fake, so I have to agree with that 100%. I mean, it's just, you know, numbers, accounting numbers that have been manufactured. Not that it doesn't represent the truth, but the only way that it has been created is by postponing payments that were supposed to have been made a long time ago. So actually, they're trying to mask the situation and showing a better surplus by pushing into the future payments that have been accrued already. So that's one undeniable fact. Second of all, I have to disagree with the fact that you're giving them credit for anything, because they've only done the minimum they had to do to get some, you know, whatever we need to repay, you know, the bonds that are maturing. And they're doing that so reluctantly that they're actually not helping the economy grow.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, there's a lot more they should be doing, but yeah, I agree with you. So I mean, this summary is, the bottom line is that this could well, you know, Greece could well become very soon the issue again, unfortunately for everybody. I know you're all tired of seeing Greek headlines, but it's a possibility. So that's the reason why, Dale, when you said euro dollar at 118, I really don't know. I haven't had a position in euro dollar for some time, because I do not like the euro and I do not like the dollar. So I really don't know which way that's going to go. Yeah. So what else have we got? Let's have a look if we have any questions.
I like that monthly chart there, Dale.
Yeah, I mean, I've been following it. It's obviously taken a long time to play out, but I like this. I've been looking at that, and I think this can.
I agree with your 92 targets too.
Okay. Yeah. Good. I like that.
I mean, you know what? Yeah, like that means that means something.
Of course it does. And okay, since we're here, let's have a look at silver again, which is my favorite. And you know, this, you know, again, the long, like this, okay, it's a weekly chart, but I've played silver, this is the fourth time now in 2 years, always on the long side. This time I got long just before the zone. I was a bit early on the trigger finger, so just under $17, I think. And I think when and if the dollar breaks down and goes towards 92, Dixie goes to 92-ish, then this is going to break, and this resistance zone is going to break for sure. So I think obviously there's a lot of issues, a lot of factors that play into silver and how it moves. I cannot disagree with that, but I think the dollar is a huge driver, and if the dollar goes, then silver is going to be realistically retesting this 21 zone up here. That's why I remain long on that. I know there are a lot of people who don't agree, but you know, I have my opinion. So that's another chart. And this chart, actually, silver has been trading quite beautifully in terms of levels. You know, there's a few zones. If you will go back, I mean, I'm a macro guy, but I like to look at the actual zones that give me the trigger points. And these 1, 2, 3, 4 zones have been doing really well. Like, you know, they go from one to the other almost uninterrupted, which is good to see. Makes trading decisions easier. But,
you know, so I'm converted. After, all right. And I also saw a monthly chart of gold that takes into account the high of the gold above 1900 and the recent lows, and it's this huge symmetrical triangle in the gold. The monthly.
Really? Okay.
You have to go very kind of further back. Is this your monthly? No.
Hold on, it's still loading. I'm on my laptop and it's very
okay. All right. You have no. It's even bigger. It's even bigger. It goes to the 19 off the 19 high.
Okay.
You could start a trend down.
From here.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of this thing here. So.
There.
Go slow. Yeah.
And then off the next high.
I got you. Okay.
Bring it through. All right. So that okay, and then you have, a
that it?
Yeah, it's right there anyway. It's right
okay.
there.
Okay.
And then you have the bottom part of the symmetrical triangle. Take it back to the 07 low.
Dale,
Okay.
Yeah.
good morning, my friends.
Hi, Stevie.
If you want to show, I uploaded on ForexAnalytix before I left. By the way, I'm here with a great guy. It's Andreas. He's the head of the development of ForexAnalytix.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you, Andreas. I'm Dale Pinkert. I'm just the host.
yeah. I've told him all about him. So we're actually talking about future projects of ForexAnalytix.
All right. So there you go, Stel. That's a major formation. You know, you could say it's like $1,300. They're only looking for 13, but that's a huge bullet. Could be a huge bullish outcome.
If you want, you can show. I've uploaded a 4-hour chart for silver some time ago before I left on ForexAnalytix.
I can show that. I have it right at the top. Hold on.
Which is something I'm watching for whoever is watching. I actually already booked half my profits on the silver long.
That was a great trade.
Silver BT.
Oh, silver. Sorry.
Silver BT, yeah.
I'm gonna close a couple of windows because this is really slow. Sorry, guys. My laptop is very, very slow here. I don't know why.
You're not feeding the mouse that's running around on that wheel. Give it more cheese, Del.
I don't know why it's so slow. This is weird. Oh, there we go.
Look at this little girl.
Still loading. There we go. Silver. So silver BT, Steve, is it?
Yes. And so the last 4-hour chart, this is what I'm monitoring and what I'm afraid actually in this zone, and that's why I already booked half of the trade.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this one.
I'm seeing an ascending wedge actually.
I could pull mine up. There it is.
There we go.
There it is.
Oh, you're seeing a rising wedge. I see.
Yeah.
So it's short-term bearish.
I would say more cautious, Dale. That's why I booked only half, because I don't find it impossible that we will retest the 1720 zone that I've marked there, and we might rebound once more. We might even register a new high. But to be honest, I think that the risk reward from current levels is not anymore to be long. I mean, if you were long as Stelios and I were, you know, it's a good place to book some and see what happens from here and take a decision what you're going to do with the rest, or if you're going to re-enter lower. But being long here, seeing this structure and seeing the fact that the move lower before was quite strong, I actually suggest against it. I'm still, of course, medium to long term bullish silver, but I don't see in the short term anything that would want me establish a fresh position if I wasn't involved here.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense, man.
Okay, that's it. Back to talking with Andreas. I just wanted to pop by and say hi to everybody, and tomorrow I'll be available so we can go over whichever charts you want.
Okay, say hi to Andreas from me, man.
I will. Bye-bye,
Okay.
Dale. Bye-bye, Stelio. Bye-bye, Nick, Grega, and everybody else. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right, Dale.
You guys, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break and get ready for the interview with Boris.
Okay.
Everyone stick around for Boris Schlossberg, CNBC contributor at FX Flow. Boris is a market veteran. He's been around for a long time, so stick around for Boris. He's half of the dynamic duo team of Boris Schlossberg and Kathy Lean. So stick around for Boris. I'm looking forward to talking to him. Him and I have a lot in common, like the same birthday. So stand by for Schlossberg. One little tidbit, Canada may be failing right here at 35, something we talked about on Friday. So here we go. All right, Boris, I will make you the presenter. Looking forward to hearing your voice. And if you want to share your screen, you have the capability of doing it.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You're good. You're good.
Tell
Good
me
test.
I'm full of jive. Okay. Sounds good, guys.
Hi, Boris.
How are you guys?
Hi, Boris. Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you very well. I hear you.
Okay, so I hope you had a great birthday, Boris.
I did. Thank you very much. You know, us Geminis.
So are you like, yeah, are you like me that, you know, we're Memorial Day kind of babies and we celebrate our birthday the whole weekend?
Yeah, not really, but yeah, I mean, you know, I love having my birthday end of May. It's like a perfect time to have it. You know.
Did you turn 39 like me?
I did.
All right. So great to have you with us, Boris. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us and share some of your views with the FACE community. You know, I always enjoyed interviewing you, and I know from having interviewed you, and you know, you do a great job on CNBC when they put you on, that you kind of have a style where you work off of themes. And I'm wondering, since we're in June and the first half is almost done, what themes Boris Schlossberg is looking forward to going into the second half of the year?
Well, you know, the big theme in the dollar that everybody is focused on. Oh, look at Eurodollar. Hang on a second, guys. I gotta lay out some few trades here. Eurodollar taking out 112s here.
Oh, you're like that commercial on CNBC. Oh, hold on. I have to do some hedging trades.
No, we gotta lay out. Oops, hang on a second.
You know you know that commercial I'm talking about? Some lady meets a guy in the restaurant and goes, "Oh, they shot down a NATO jet." Hold on a minute. I have to do some hedging trades.
Oh yeah. I do know the commercial. No, I want to lay out the 12.15s in the euro right now.
Okay.
Wow, we're really rocking over here. This is nice. Euro is just screaming by all morning long.
Yeah.
So this is good.
So let me guess by your excitement that you think that the breakdown in the dollar is real and there's plenty left to the downside in the dollar, plenty left to the upside in euro?
I don't know. I mean, the honest truth is I don't know. I mean, you know, the euro, the thing that's very impressive about the euro, let's take a look at the euro here on a dailies, and I'll just tell you sort of how I'm viewing the whole situation. Let's go to the dailies. Just bear with me a sec.
Sure.
So a couple of very impressive things about the euro. And today is one of those kind of days where I think could be what we call a strong volatility day. Euro never filled the gap.
Yeah.
We have a runaway gap, as you well know, Dale.
At least a breakaway. We need one more gap, the way I was trained classically. Edwards and McGee, your first gap like that is a breakaway. Runaway would be if we had another gap during this move, which could happen. So, okay. But anyway, you could call it runaway. What's the difference? You know, I'm being a technical analyst right now. Call it whatever you want.
It's an unfilled gap, which is bullish.
Okay.
And unfilled, and the longer it goes unfilled, the more bullish it is. What's furthermore is that, you know, we traded back down and held the 108.50 on the corrective move, right? And then we haven't even been able to come back down to 110s. And that's how positive the sentiment has been. The fundamental story behind here is ECB may be moving towards a more tightening posture, right? There is talk that they may even curb quantitative easing as early as June, which would be very interesting. Certainly would be very, very bullish given the euro. The flip side of it is the dollar doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Look, today we had, PCE data, which was in line, right? We were looking for PCE data to come in at 0.2, turn positive. That's presumably should give the Fed a little bit of sucre for the rate hike. But the year over year is 1.5%. This is hardly torrid inflation. And, the Fed everybody knows the Fed is full of crap in terms of arguing that we require rate hikes. The Fed is only hiking rates right now so they can unhike them in case we have a recession, right?
Agree. Well, I've been saying that for a long time. So they want to build up their war chest in case they need to lower rates again.
Right. So fundamentally,
Will they do it in June? Will they do it in June?
At this point, they've painted themselves into such a corner.
Well, why not do it with the S&Ps at 2,400? It's a great time.
What I'm saying is they can't afford not to do it. They would really not care about it. The more interesting thing, though, is the market is really looking past June. The more interesting thing is if they hem and haw and say, no, we'll be data dependent for September. That could push the dollar even lower. So the euro is really rising on two interesting dynamics. One, basically the situation in Europe has actually improved significantly since Macron has won. There is a lot of hope now that Europeans are going to generate better growth. And
he does have one arm in a cast, though, now.
What do you mean?
After his handshake.
Oh. I think I think him and Trudeau have basically figured it all out.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say? The other component is that the U.S. bullish case, which was three rate hikes until the end of 2017, is just not as clear as it seemed to be. So you have all of these anti-dollar flows that are taking shape. And the thing about them that I think is impressive here is that they're not going away. Like, it seems like this sentiment, this anti-dollar sentiment, is quite strong. We just tested at 1,200, came off of it. But I have a feeling we're gonna press further a little bit as the afternoon goes.
Are we coming? I think it's Louise Yamada. The longer the base, the bigger the launch into space. And the euro really based for a whole year, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
That's a pretty big base.
A lot of people were betting on the fact that we were going to
go under parity.
Go under parity. And I think, of course, the shorts got really, really badly caught on this move. So can this squeeze out the 114? For sure. I mean, we can look at on the weeklies here. The really big trade, the flip was, where is this thing? I'll show you. It was
we're testing the election day high in the euro. That was November. That 1330.
No, it's not. It's what was the flip here? Sorry, I'm looking.
117.
No, it wasn't even that. It was this. Was that the? Was that the ECB presser? No, was this the ECB presser? I'm trying to understand. 260. Oh no, I'm going. This is it. Sorry, this was the ECB presser. This is the ECB presser where Draghi just flipped the euro viciously to the downside. Yeah. And the high here was around 1,300, right?
And that was also the election day, Boris.
Was it election day?
Look at the date.
Election day, yeah. It was election day too, right?
Yeah.
So those two things, that's right. For the euro to really recover the election day high of 1,300, very, very reasonable to think that's possible.
Yes.
So we could have that happen.
Yeah. Okay. So this could end up being a long, if you look at a weekly, why not consider retracements from the high at 140 down to 103? That even if it is a bear market rallies could take it to 120, 117, 120, I think would be about 38% back of that big decline from the Draghi bear market.
They can, but I'm very leery of projecting so far ahead. I'm sort of I project always just I would generally project the next day ahead. But even on a longer term basis, I don't think I could see more than 300-400 points ahead of me without any reasonable compromise.
That's understandable.
Another thing that people in your room might find interesting, one of the things that we look at and I really like as a signal, this is a really pure technical signal that is very easy to visually understand. This is a weekly chart, and it works on the weekly even better than it does on the daily. We call the vol, sorry, sec, let's let the ambulance pass by. We call this the vol candle, and the volatility candle has a couple of very interesting characteristics. First, it has to be about 150% or more of the prior 3 candles. So it means there's got to be a lot of price, a lot of big expansion of range in the candle, right?
Interesting.
And secondly, it must close on the high or close on the low to give you a clear indication of further price movement in that direction. So here's a good example of a volatility candle, right? Very large range, close on the low on a weekly, gives you quite a lot of movement. The next week, even though everybody thinks, oh, it's the exhaustion bottom, it actually has quite a long way to go on a weekly basis to come back against it. Here's another good example of a large volatility candle. These are weekly signals, which tend to be even better than daily signals, but of course we can see them on the daily signals all the time, and we like to trade those on the daily signals as well. So if you look at the euro, the daily signals, the big breakout was this breakout on May 16th, right?
Yeah.
Which was a big volatility candle, and there was a big volatility candle here on May 19th, which gives extension. Now, the art of the trade, of course, is to figure out how much further extension do you get. Where do you go? We generally like to trade it on a daily basis with 40 target and a couple of scale backs against it. So in other words, if we're buying the close, we'll buy and if we have a 40-point target on it, we'll buy 40 behind and then 25 behind and a full stop at 100 underneath it, because very often it will retrace and then go take the direction back up again. So you have to be very skillful. Trade management is a very component of this kind of a structure, but generally it's just a pure directional signal, very, very powerful signal. And so today,
well, that's a new pearl to me, a volatility candle that's 3 times the range of the prior. How many candles? 3 candles.
Yeah, and again, it's more of a science than there's an art. You can. The point is that who was it? Justin Porter said it's just like pornography. When I see it, I know it when I see it.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. You really, it really sticks out very clearly at you the moment you see it. Pound is notorious, because Pound, by the way, is notorious for doing this and then screwing you royally for a while. So here's Pound, right? Huge volatility candle. This is when May calls her election, right? And then the other thing is you have to be super patient with it, because it will spend sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days consolidating before taking on further extension of the move, right? So a couple of days ago, it actually sent a down signal. Pound sent a sell signal on Friday. But we didn't trade this because, first of all, we know that Pound retraces, right? But now, like Pound coming in at around 29, probably a pretty decent sell, because this sell signal is still very legitimate. The only way it becomes illegitimate is if the high of this candle, which is about 29.50, gets taken out. Then,
that's what I was saying today. That was a line in the sand for a different reason, which makes it even more important to me that you use a different method and come up with that line in the sand. Thank you. Yeah, nice.
But this, I think, for people who are very visually oriented like I am, this gives it a very simple, this is a mathematical structure, but it's, it's expressed visually, so it's easy to see. You can see this, you can see these kind of moves all the time. You have lots of low volatility, big breakout, right? Lots of volatility. Here's a breakdown to the downside, and it takes a long time, and you got to be patient. You got to trade against it, right? But as long as it doesn't break the top, you got to have faith and sell against it, and it will come back, and you can resolve the trade positively.
So the two signals you've given us augurs well for a continuation up in Euro Pound.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at the Euro Pound.
Yeah, it's been roaring.
But euro on the crosses has just been a monster. So euro pound today is compressed a little bit. But yes, I mean euro pound actually sent a buy signal on Friday.
Yeah. Right.
And now it's just retracing against it. So the invalidation of that would be around
6.5.
Yeah, 16.5. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, about 30 points away from here, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Is that would invalidate?
Where are you at on the yen? You have a view?
Yen is,
It's okay to say no because it is.
Here's the thing about the yen that's in show. Here's the thing about technical analysis that I find fascinating. So let's go to a 5-minute chart, right? So a really good rule of thumb is if news is positive, but price action is negative, beware of the news. And so what we had today was a classic example of decent PCE. Everything should be, this is all hunky-dory, confirming that these, with, personal income, personal spending were all good, right? And yet we couldn't beat the 5-minute candle yet, right? As a matter of fact, we're unwinding it right down to the lows here, right?
Yeah.
So
the whole move was negated.
The whole move was negated, and that's that's worrying to me, because if you look at the yen on a longer-term basis, it still looks pretty terrible. This is the daily candle. As a matter of fact, the yen is still operating under this very, very strong sell signal that we saw on the 17th of May. And the low of that sell signal is around, 1080, right? We went all the way down to 1023, but to me, it's the 1000 level, the 110 level, because the 110 level is sort of like that level that's yen looking like it wants to actually fill the gap. That's sort of where everything ties in together.
Nice. And let me ask you this. Any chance that someday in this century we'll see a 10% correction in the S&Ps?
Yeah, I think sooner than you think. I think everybody, I've never seen a sense of complacency greater than I have in the equity market. As a matter of fact, I think we could have a vicious correction. For things that nobody can understand. South Korea launches something that actually hits Japan. They came in within 300 miles of hitting Japan today. Who the hell knows? Equities are, grossly overbought. There will be some excuse that none of us can know ahead of time that could trigger a pretty steep sell-off. And, everybody right now is betting on the fact that we're going to get a massive tax cut, and that's not even remotely going to happen. So
how about impeachment?
That could happen, although I doubt that's going to happen. Also, I think we get neither. We get the worst of both worlds, which is a terrible stalemate with little another dysfunctional government, even though the Republicans have both houses. Right, because they're hobbled by the investigation, which is only going to get a lot worse. And the other thing that I think is starting to scare the market. I mean, today's commentary by Trump about Germany, which is Germany just sort of, let everybody understand, is literally not only the biggest ally that we have, but the single most productive member in the Western alliance. Germany has 1/4 the population of the United States of America and exports more goods than U.S. does, $2 trillion worth. It has 1/2 the population of Japan and exports more goods than Japan does. They don't do it because they somehow bribe people into buying their stuff. They do, and they do it with stuff that is extraordinarily expensive. They don't sell cheap stuff like China does. So what that means is that they have extraordinarily high production values and technology that allows them to essentially compete in the world against some of the toughest barriers in the world, including the fact that they pay their workers $50 an hour. So if you think about all those factors, instead of becoming enemies with Germany, we should just be emulating everything they're doing 100%. The fact that we now taken our best ally and turn them into an enemy is very, very bad on a lot of different levels. And to me, now everybody knows I'm a raving liberal, so I really don't care. But to me, as a Russian, even if I didn't think that Trump was a Russian spy.
Yeah, they're doing cartwheels.
Like, let me explain to you. Like this tweet. Almost. Where's this tweet? I got to find this tweet. Hang on a second. Let me just find it. My screen is okay. So let me find him.
The tweet about the cars.
No, this tweet right over here. Where's? I just want to find his tweet. This tweet was.
Yeah, he has more followers than us.
Okay, where is this? Here it is. We have massive trade deficit with Germany, plus they pay far less than they should for NATO military. Very bad for us. This will change. So if you sort of understand anything about geopolitics, you understand that Russia's biggest enemy in Europe is Germany, which used to be, which to this day should
historical.
Not just historical, but right now, because they've been the bulwark. So if you're Putin, what would you like more than anything in the world to basically create complete and total discord between two of the most powerful alliances in the Western Alliance, right?
Yeah.
This, to me, screams, I'm a Russian spy, more than anything he's ever said in this world. This is the most treasonous thing I've ever seen the President of the United States say in my life, because this is exactly what Vladimir Putin wants him to say. So I don't know where this goes. I don't know how it's going to play out. But of all the things he said, this one, even though it seems so innocuous, was the single most treasonous thing I've ever seen the United States president ever say in my life. And I say it as a former Russian, that this is, if Putin didn't recruit him, he couldn't have recruited a better spy than to have someone do and say this right now and sow discord. So I don't know. That's why I'm very dubious about the market holding on the highs of this.
Okay. Any views on, say, bonds? We've seen a big shift from the shorts, got real short, and they got creamed, and now they're net long bonds. I've been watching TLT. Is there some fear money going to take TLT maybe back up towards 130? That's where they really accelerated to the downside after the election. Do you have a view on bonds? Bonds are, I'm not as tough call.
I'm not as bullish bonds as some people are, but I definitely think that yields. I mean, there are people that are calling for 2% yield. I think that's really extreme. Not impossible,
okay.
But extreme.
Okay. I know last year you liked gold.
I did like gold, although my favorite new gold is Bitcoin. It's got
okay.
But I think Bitcoin is the new gold. And
all right. And Ethereum is the new silver.
I guess so. Ethereum is the new silver, right?
Okay.
But you got to kind of have to respect that. That.
Have you traded it? The volatility. Huh?
Yeah, no, it's insane. I mean, it's insane. I haven't traded, but I do think that the fact that Bitcoin is actually rising so much is an underlying expression. I mean, it's clearly a bubble too, but it's also an underlying expression, I think, of dissolution.
Not trusting the dollar, a diversification away from all fiat currency.
Correct.
And political and political control. Whether it's China or any other country.
Right.
Okay.
And it seems to have like a universal appeal across a lot of different regions. It's not just U.S. buyers that are buying it; it's Chinese buyers that are buying it, stuff like that.
Okay, Boris, do you want to show your website, yours and Kathy's, and the best place for people to follow you and keep in touch with what you're doing?
There are two things you can do. You can obviously come join us and trade with us every single day. Actually, hang on a second. This is my Slack room. I'll show you actually my Slack. I'll show you our Slack room as well. bkforex.com is our website, and you can just come in and feel free to either get our courses or get our trading signals, and feel free to join us. It's only $59 to try us for a week, and you can see if you like us. If you want to read my research, you can get it over here at, let me get the link. bkassetmanagement.com. That's where I publish my research, and you can just simply put your name on the list right here. Just put your name on the list, and you'll be able to get it every single day.
Okay.
So,
do you manage funds at all? You have an RIA or anything like that?
No, we do not. We do not manage any funds.
Okay.
And we're very, very glad not to do that. Okay. We do have a live chat room. As you can see, everybody hangs out with me, and we all trade all day long. So this is one of the things that happens when you get into our signals room. Nice. You can come trade with us, and we do lots of different strategies and a lot of different ideas.
I appreciate that.
And you can see that like we all of our trades come in and out, into like live. They're connected directly to my account, so you can see they're all they're all posted and traded instantaneously. So it's very cool, very transparent, very, very cool for everybody.
Yeah, it's fun. Is that a new dimension to your model?
It's been around for a long time, but yeah, I mean, the whole integration with Twitter and MT4 is really cool, because every time I make a trade, it instantaneously posts it in the account, and so that everybody can follow me. Yeah.
Well,
we actually, if you guys want to join us, we're starting in the room. We're starting a 100 Days of Summer contest, and so the contest is really cool. It's $1,000 real money. You got to buy in with $1,000 real money. You have to make 100 trades minimum. This is to prevent people from just making one trade and sitting on the gains. And you're trading for 100 days, and you have to open up your MyFX book, and then the winner gets lifetime membership. BK, free.
Cool. Nice promo, buddy.
Thank you.
And
so everybody in my room is already excited. They're actually, everybody is not only excited just to trade individually, but everybody wants to team up in teams. Like the Aussies want to go against the Brits and the Americans and everybody else. So
it's like the trading Olympics.
That's right. So we may do trading Olympics as well.
You could use it, man.
Yeah.
So thanks so much, Boris. Thank you so much for coming by today after a long holiday and sharing your view on Euro and teaching us about a volatility candle. And I hope pips rain down on you and Kathy the rest of the year and everyone associated with you.
My pleasure.
My birthday trading warrior brother.
Thank you for being with us, Dale. Everybody have a great day.
All right, Boris. Thank you, buddy. Okay, everybody, thank Boris Schlossberg at FX Flow, BK Asset Management. Hope everyone enjoyed Boris. Check him out. I want to thank Nick for coming in today with her crypto review. You too, Ron. Always great to have Nick in here, and Stelios talking about showing that monthly dollar chart. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here, man. Thank you.
And also want to thank Grega for contributing a few charts. Maybe Blake will be back in the saddle tomorrow. Good hunting the rest of the day. And remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. I count hanging out with you guys every day as a blessing in my life. So enjoy the rest of your spring day. Summer's on its way. Only about 22 days away from the summer solstice. So be careful. It's kind of a choppy week, holiday week, NFP Friday. I'll open early Friday for the NFP. And see everyone tomorrow. I have a great guest tomorrow. He's been on CNBC as well. And he's real bullish on the emerging markets. It's Mark Yusko. So Mark has been on CNBC, and he's real bullish on you too, Diego. real bullish on emerging markets over developed markets. So I'm going to see if there's a currency component to his thesis. Okay, everyone. Enjoy.